and good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast, where I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond, and I am so favored to have this special guest with me today. I keep telling folks, you gotta keep your circle. You gotta keep your circle close. And look, we didn't even know what was going on. We all in sync with the same colors and the hair wrap. So hey, that's how you know when you're in a circle of folks. I just love it. I love it. I was like, oh wow. Well, audience, I want to introduce you to Avalaura Gaither. She's an intuitive life coach. She's a TV personality, and we'll talk about that a little later. She is a speaker, a Reiki master, and most of all, I'm always about the holistic health. I always have to go there or bring someone else in with that specialty because I need us to get it. I need us to get it. She is especially in the realm of mental health. So, Avalaura, welcome tonight. I appreciate you for saying yes, and I just kudos to you, Queen.
I appreciate you asking me, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Avalaura has so much going on too as well. I just love it. I'll be watching, and sometimes I want to come, but then I'm always booked with something. So hopefully this next thing that's coming up, we're going to get together. Look, we were together at a training maybe like 3 years ago. We're like, whoa, I know you. But, just give the audience a little bit of really how you got into, I know we know you licensed, you clinical. Let me put that on the spot too, because, people think that a lot of people going out here doing stuff, but she's clinical, y'all. She's certified. You can go on the board of professional counsel. You might find her up and licensing.
Social work.
Yeah, social work. Yeah, the social work part of it. But on the rise, we see a lot. You do a lot of holistic stuff as well. So just tell the audience how you got into it. What made you get into this realm, especially when it comes to the holistic mental health?
Yeah, that's a great question, because my goal always was to do mental health, traditional. I went to Howard University and I majored in psychology, and I ended up going back for my master's degree in social work. And it was always, I thought I was going to do like traditional therapy, right? And I got out into the real world, so to speak, I guess I'll say, right after I got my MSW. And I was a program director at an outpatient mental health clinic. And it just became really apparent to me really quickly that it was not going to work for me. And this was not my first job out of social work. Let me just say, I had several, a few social work jobs in between there. And I also had my internship. You have to do an internship, when you're in your MSW program. But when I really got out there and I was working at this outpatient mental health clinic and I saw how things were going, I was like, this system is not set up to help people heal, but it's really just set up to help people to maintain their dysfunction. And I'm a healer. And I've always known that I was a healer for a very long time. And so being in this workplace, thinking that I'm actually going to help people heal and I'm going to help save the world, and then realizing I am not going to have the impact that I thought I was going to make. In fact, I'm really not making that much of an impact at all. I started feeling like, why the hell am I here? Why am I here? And if anybody knows, you're not going into social work for the money. And I'm not saying that money is not important, because it absolutely is, but it's not a career path that you go into to make money. You go into this career path because you genuinely want to help people. So if I'm not really helping people, what the heck am I doing? And I was really stuck in that place of feeling very burnt out, feeling stuck, feeling depressed, like, I don't really want to do this anymore. But at the same time, all these people depend on me, and I don't know what else to do. And it just got to the point where I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I finally just talked to a colleague. And mind you, I say finally, because here I am in the social work field. I am helping all these people. I'm, working with all these people. And then I needed help and I didn't even know who to go to. I didn't want to talk to my colleagues, right? It was a very toxic work environment. I didn't trust anybody with my business, right? So I didn't even know who to go to. And I literally was just at my wit's end, and talked to, a colleague that I knew was also in the profession, and she was having a women's retreat at the time. And, she was like, look, Avalaura, come on out, this will be good for you. And back then people weren't really talking about retreats. So I honestly really didn't know like what a retreat was, but I didn't care. If she had said, Avalaura, let's go bungee jumping, I would have said, okay. You know, like if I thought it was gonna work, I would have done it. So I did, and it was amazing. It really helped me to get back to soulful self-care, as I talk a lot about. I was, doing yoga and meditation and really just getting back to me. And during that process, it was really eye-opening for me, because you know how when you're going through something and you are so knee deep in it, you don't really see things for what's really going on, because you're just trying to survive. You're just trying to make it from day to day. So you can't really take stock of what's happening with your life. And this retreat just kind of gave me a timeout. And I was just like, wow, like I'm not happy anymore. I'm not smiling or laughing like I normally do. I'm gaining weight. There was all of these things going on that I wasn't really paying attention to because I was just miserable. And I just ended up having an emotional breakthrough. I mean, that's all I can call it. I had an emotional breakthrough, and I literally just found myself on my hands and knees crying out to God. And I was like, look, you got to get me out of here. I can't anymore. I can't live like this. This is not, you ain't put me here for this. So I don't know what's going on, but I can't do this anymore. And I mean, I cried, I boo-hooed, I let it all out. And it was cleansing. It felt good. Anytime you have that good cry, you feel good. I was just like, okay, whew, clearly I needed that. All right. And then it kind of hit me that I had to go back to work. and this was just a stopgap. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, this is great, wonderful, but back to my life I go.
Right.
And, but I did, because what else what was I gonna do? So I went back to work Monday, regular week, regular day, and seeing my clients and doing my thing. But then my boss calls me into his office for a meeting, and he sits me down and he says, Avalaura, you're amazing. It's been great having you, but I gotta let you go. And he slides this envelope across the table and is basically like, this is your severance. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, what just happened? Now, I need to put this in the context for you, okay? Because I had never been fired from anything in my life. I'm a classic overachiever, recovering perfectionist. I graduated magna cum laude. You know what I mean? So for me, like there's no such thing as failure. I go hard. You know what I mean? I don't go 100%. I go 150%, 200%. So it was crazy to me. I had never been fired from anything, and my ego was having a fit. But really then, my spirit kicked in, really small voice. Ego was like, and spirit kicked in, and, spirit was like, why are you upset? Like, this is what you prayed for. This is what you prayed for. So what are you going to do about it? And I had to sit there with myself, like, what am I going to do? And it was like, am I going to, take the blue pill, if you will, the safe route and just go get another job? Because if anybody knows social work, jobs are a dime and a dozen. I know we are in a market right now where people are losing their jobs left and right, but social work is one of those jobs you can always find a social work job, especially here in the DC area. And so it was like, okay, you just gonna go, get another job and do that? Or am I gonna take that red pill and venture into the path of the unknown and really do what I've been called to do? And, I wish I could say it was an easy decision, but it was not. It really wasn't. But I decided, I took that red pill. And, it was so interesting. I mean, a lot of people say I was really before my time. The thing that I did that I recommend every Black woman do is I took what I call my 6-month healing sabbatical. I took 6 months, 6 months to work on me. Nobody was talking about this stuff back then, but this was something that I intuitively knew that I needed to do. I took 6 months, and that's when I, became a certified life coach, started working on, actually not even at that moment, because it was a whole certification program. Even though I already had an MSW, I still did this whole certification program. That's when I studied Reiki. I became a Reiki master teacher. I studied aromatherapy, hypnotherapy, everything, every holistic remedy, crystals, chakras, you name it that I could get myself on. That's when I studied all those things and really worked on me. And at the end of that 6 months, that's when I opened up my first business, Avalaura's Healing Center. And that was almost 20 years ago now. So I know, right? It's crazy. Every time I say that, I'm like, oh my God. And it's been a beautiful journey. It has not been easy. I cannot say that when you're living in passion, when you're living in purpose, when you're really doing your work, that is easy, but it has always been worth it. And to be able to work with people just like me who needed a guide in sometimes your toughest times or just times where, you've achieved a lot, but you're like, I don't know what I want to do with myself. I'm not happy. I've done all these things and I'm still not happy. So it's been a blessing to be able to help guide people, because I know I needed guidance and it took me so long. And if I had help earlier on, who knows how much more I would have done, so it's been beautiful.
So I hear it, because it's someone who sounds so similar to me, that, even part of me getting on this path where I had to get fired from a job was the center was doing it all for this nonprofit. Face of the face, had these big meetings with the senators. I went into work one day and they were like, we're not going to do this anymore. Your service pay. We're not going to get this back. But you know what? I was like you, like, are you serious?
Right.
But I'm thankful for it. I even wrote it in the book. I am so thankful for it, because it actually got me on my journey now to where
I knew I manifested it. It was clear, but still dealing with the reality, right? And, I talk a lot about manifestation, and I help clients to really manifest the things that they want in life. And so many times, we playing around with the stuff. We don't really know what we're doing. Right. We don't really understand how powerful we are. And then when you really ask for something and you get it, you're like, oh my God, I got it. What am I supposed to do now?
So yeah, that's where we're going to talk about. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Avalaura here is going to explain to you, because there's an event that she's putting on. There are some tools that you'll be able to get, and we're going to hear more, but we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Bolden-Hammond, and I'm here with my sister friend guest, Avalaura Gaither, who is an intuitive life coach. And with that, I played that for a reason. We played that little break for a reason, because we know that there is a lot of misconceptions when our people of color hear holistic health, that it's witchcraft or whatever else, but it's a part of healing. Why we're so stuck into something is because we haven't properly healed. And that's what Avalaura does. That's what I do. We set you in these spaces. We create these spaces for you to be free. So, there is so much that you said in your success story. Now, audience, if you don't know, you probably will go look. And I know how we are, because we nosy like that. In the beginning, I introduced her as a TV personality. So what she says she has done impact. So, Avalaura, share your TV personality and who you work with.
Yeah, I mean, I have done a few shows, but most notable was the Real Housewives of Potomac. I worked with Karen Huger and her husband Ray one season, and then this current season, I actually worked with Karen again. So I knew about the whole drunk driving incident before, obviously before the show came out, and she asked the producers to bring me back on. And it's interesting, so we did a whole segment but it didn't air, and I was like, wow, this is interesting, that this is when they really should have showed her getting some help with everything that's going on, but it did not air for whatever reasons, I don't know. But we did have that segment, so I've continued to work with her, so that's probably the most notable one. But it's been a blessing. You get those phone calls and I'm like, oh, who is this on the phone, who wants to work with me? It's been a beautiful thing. It has, that is the impact that I have always wanted to make and continue to want to make. When I get those phone calls, oh, you want to speak at PayPal? Absolutely, sure, I'm happy to speak at PayPal. Like, I never would have done this if I had stayed stuck, at that mental health clinic, just barely existing.
Yeah. And that's what it takes when you said the word manifestation. Sometimes we have to take the leap into it. We speak it, and sometimes, like you said, we got to recognize it. But that's when you come to the realization that you need help, right? Yes. So explain of this group, and I'm going to actually show the picture with what's coming up, that I think you listeners, you viewers, however you see it, you recappers, however you see it, I'm just going to say it that way. But this is something that she's actually has a book on this too, and she'll show you in a minute. But I want to show this. We need you in the building for this.
Yeah. The Girl Live Your Effing Life brunch. If you're in or around the DMV, right? Because last time I had women from Connecticut, other parts of the Northeast come through. If you're in and around the DMV, you definitely want to be here April 26th from 12 to 4 p.m. In Landover, Maryland, here in PG County, Maryland. And it is such a beautiful thing, especially in this climate. This climate right now is heavy. If you're a healer, if you're an empath, if you're anybody who just cares, it's very heavy. We're all going through it, especially in this area now. The DC area is pretty insulated. But we are being affected the most with the federal government cuts and so many things. So we need sisterhood. We need self-care. We need self-love. We need affirmation. We need community. We need to connect with each other. I am a firm believer that so many of us haven't healed because we don't have community. We are so separated. We are so siloed. And, it's important to me. I work primarily virtually. I have clients literally all over the world. So a lot of my work is virtual. So I do like to have some in-person events where we can all gather, we can all connect and meet each other and stay in touch. And I just love the connections being made. The women in the room, I know who they are. I know their stories, right? And I know what they're about and how they are a positive influence to each other. So you want to be in the room. It is a beautiful space. We have fun. We eat well. If you follow me, I'm a foodie. So eat very well. And we really have a good time. There's not a bunch of speakers. I tell everybody, people want to come speak. No, I'm the only one that's speaking. You're getting self-care. You get a Reiki treatment this time, either a Reiki treatment, henna, or stretch therapy. So everybody gets some self-care time. You shop, you connect, we eat, and you get entertained. So we got a lot on the agenda.
It sounds amazing. I'm mad that I missed it last year, but I'm always like I schedule it like always like But I'm here to produce whatever you need me to do. I even, like I said, I even give out some things you can put in the bag. I have some meditation cards with my
Okay.
meditation music that I can give out. I'm here to do that for you, just to make,
Beautiful.
give it. So I'm a giver. So
And that's one of the things that I love. Like the community of women has been so supportive. I remember the first one I did, people like, listen, I can't make it, but I'll donate tickets to somebody. So I was able to give away tickets to women. Same thing this time. I have people sponsoring a lot of women owned businesses. One, she's does permanent tattoos. She's giving away $100 gift certificates. I mean, listen,
right.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. When you said, when I look at the coming to a retreat, getting the self-care, what better way? Because
Yeah.
you coming in there. And I know for my own experiences, when I even put them on, I have the retreat every year myself, but this year we're
Mhm.
doing a cruise because this is
Nice.
15-year celebration. And I'm like, I just want to soak in, because for
Yeah.
me, I know we know how it is putting these
Mhm.
things on. That
Mhm.
afterwards, you're so hyped and tired
Yeah.
afterward that you really can't savor the moment. But then you got to find that away time. So
Absolutely.
after you do this, you have to do that away time. But the
Mhm.
beneficial is when you have people come to your retreat and you see the breakthrough. That is the most woo. That
Listen, when one of the attendees said to me, she said, this, and last time it was 3 hours. I extended it, so it's 4 hours this year. She said, this 3 hours was more impactful than week-long retreats that I've been on.
Mhm.
Because of love. I mean, it was just, I can't even describe it. It's like you literally just had to be in the room. The love of all those beautiful Black women. Oh my God. And I'm not saying just, if it's some white women or whoever watching, you are welcome. But last time it was like all Black women, and we just loved up on each other. It was amazing.
And that's what it should be, because we need that in our community. Like you said, there's so much going on. There's a lot of sorrow, mishap, all of those
It's a
typical
lot of
things. It's a
fear.
lot of fear going on. You look at the new. I just right now. Sometimes I don't even look at it anymore because
I
it's
can't
just
tell you the
so
last
much.
time I've seen the news.
And people, they'll put out, even though we have whoever we have in office. I said this
Mm-hmm.
last week, whoever it is in office, you just got to learn how to navigate and just don't
Yeah.
share the negative on it. Share that positivity. I have this
Yeah.
quote and this saying, smell my positivity. You got to you got to let that negative stuff go, because once you throwing it out in the atmosphere, it can't come, it's not
I
coming back.
mean, you're right. And so many people right now are stuck in it.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally stuck in it and don't know how to get in it. And so there really has to be like an unplug. Like let's just,
Right.
get off social media. Let's get off everything, give myself a break and come back to it. But it is palatable. So I think, events like this are so incredibly important, where you have that time where you just forget about all that's going on, because yes, it's real. Yes, it's happening. However, you can manifest a different reality. You don't have to be stuck there. And just because that's happening in the world, it doesn't mean that you still can't have the things that you want in life. And I think that's what people forget. Yes, there's people losing their jobs, and there's also people over here making a shit ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to choose, where do you want to be in that?
Mm-hmm.
Just like we said, we lost our jobs too. So when people are like, oh my God, I might lose my job, I'm like, okay. And I mean, the reality is now you get to create what you really want.
Right. Right. And then I also said too, things happen for a reason, because I know us as a people back during the
We
Jim
know how to
Crow.
make a way out of no way.
Right.
Okay.
And
We
so
are resilient.
resilient is also, but we were more unified.
True.
I
Yeah.
think that this is actually where I'm going to have to say, am I really my neighbor's neighbor? You know,
Mm.
if you don't have bread this week, I might have two
Mm-hmm.
pieces that we can share. Or,
Yeah.
I'm just a firm believer in that I'm
Yeah.
thinking that's what is happening, is bringing us to be unified for us as once again, because
Mm-hmm.
we are a powerful type of people. And it's just
Absolutely.
that, all this because, we say Black Lives Matter, but does it really matter? Because if it mattered, we wouldn't be out here killing each other like we are for silly stuff.
And that's why I said the importance of community. Sadly, that has been lost. And I think it's all by design,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because we are a very communal people. We need each other.
Right.
You are not here to do everything.
Right.
And I see that so much, especially with the women that I work with, not asking for help, afraid to ask for help, or last time I asked somebody for help, they didn't come through. So I'm gonna just do it all. And so now you tired, you burnt out, you barely functioning, even though you have all this success, because you don't have a community, a tight community. You don't have people, you don't have safe spaces. And to me, success is not measured in money. Yes, money is important. Listen, I like nice things, okay? But it really is, who can I call on when I need it? Right? When I need help, do I have a team of people around me that I can call on? That's success.
That's it. And you have hit the nail on the head with the hammer. So, again, this upcoming event, but there is something else that I would like for you to talk about, because you have this Moroccan trip that's coming up in the fall. Please tell us about that.
Yes. So my annual Reiki in Morocco retreat. This will be the second one, and I'm excited. I love Reiki. Reiki for me has been such a blessing. It was one of the first holistic tools that I use, integrating it with coaching and it's just having amazing results. I've been blessed to teach people literally all over the world Reiki. Most of my Reiki students have been Black women, which has been phenomenal. And so now to bring that to Morocco, to bring it to the motherland, and where we stay, it is a Black owned healing and restoration center. So I get to support another Black owned business and work with them. Absolutely amazing. I mean, 5 stars all around. Everybody gets their own amazing room. The cuisine is OMG. Like only like we could do. I mean, amazing brunch, dinner, 3-course dinners every night. Listen, we ate well all over Morocco. We did the camel trekking. We did the in the desert, the dune buggies in the desert, the spas, the traditional Moroccan hammam experience.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes, going to the souks, the herbalists, like it's just such a healing experience. And then you get to learn Reiki 1 and 2. So this year I'm teaching Reiki 1 and 2, and I'm doing the master's training as well. So for my students who came last year, they're going to be coming back to do the master's training. So I am so excited. It's such a beautiful experience and such a beautiful environment. And it just adds to the quality of the energy.
Makaresh. Oh my goodness. I know like I said, my girlfriend, and she may be watching, Fatima. Fatima Mufad. This is a promise that she has to me to go to Morocco.
You got it. It's beautiful. I mean, I've been to West Africa and I love West Africa, but it's very different. The pace is different. The people are different. It was really just clean and really beautiful. It's inexpensive. Americans, we love coming because we're like, oh, that's it. So it's an amazing experience. You just gotta come.
I love the tea, because she makes
that mint tea. We had that mint tea every day.
Yes,
every day. That was like the highlight of my day. That mint tea. The food is fun. The food is phenomenal. I could spend this whole time just talking about the food.
Yes, she fixes it. I love the food myself. The food,
and because the food is so cheap, they fresh herbs and like everything. So that's why the food is so good. Things are different. The yogurt is different. It's like naturally sweet. You know how our yogurt is bitter? The yogurt is sweet. I mean, I was like, oh my God, like, what is this? Like, everything is so different.
Yeah, the pool. When she told me about the part where they do and the hammam, the hammam,
The bat, yeah, where they
the
scrub,
bath,
girl.
scrub. She said, "Oh my gosh," she said, you will die for that." I was like, that's all I want to go to do. I want to get in there and do it.
They scrub you down. You are butt naked. But it's like, so here in the DMV, we have the Korean spas. So it's kind of similar. But they rub you all the way down, butt naked, exfoliate you, all the things. Then you sit in the robe and they give you tea and cookies and stuff. And then we had a massage. Like, so I was laid out after that.
So be on the lookout for that, because more details will be coming. And I actually will have you back later on in the summer, probably, to talk more about that.
Okay. And if you you can definitely go to our website and get the information, but there's also an info session as well. So if you want the replay for that, just contact me and I'll send you the replay.
All right. And there is her information right down the line, www.avalaura.com or VDLL Avalaura. And it has a lot of resources on it that you can come. So support my sister here. Support my sister. So Avalaura, I want to say thank you so much. And you know what? I think we should end. If you don't mind, I would like for you to end tonight's show with a mantra.
So, you know what? Let me just go. There's a lot of affirmations in here. So this is the Girl Live Your Effing Life journal, and this is where the brunch came from. So I just flipped to something. So, yep, I'm gonna read this. I am worthy of love, success, and all the good shit life has to offer.
All right.
I am worthy of love, success, and all the good shit that life has to offer.
She said the good shit.
That's good shit. Okay.
Good shit. It's the good shit. So I love it. So again, Avalaura, again, my platform here, Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. We'll welcome you anytime. If you got something you want us to share, we're able to share it for you. And again, audience, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. And then you know what? Next month, we're going into Women International. So Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, we're going to be doing it, showcasing the women. So we look forward to seeing you. Have a great and successful week. And also remember, let people smell your positivity. Until next week, I'm Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond.